morning dish.
He's the hardest working man in show business. His band's music takes you into the midnight hours. And when you wake up, his voice is back on your radio alarm clock. How on earth did this happen?
Well, Jeff saw me taking out the trash at the radio station.
And he won another award.
But this one is better.
I'm your boogeyman. That's what I am.
It's the Morning Dish with the 2019 Radio Personality of the Year winner, Stephen Phillips.
You paying attention to this, Packy?
And Murphy's own Sherry Raines.
Yeah, you must have given horseback passes to the right guy, Stephen.
Well, giddy up.
And Packy Smith's Shetland pony is right alongside.
You guys know these demo tapes don't just edit themselves together, right?
Well, all right.
3 cheers for Stephen Phillips.
Y'all need to help Stephen Phillips out over there. Out the door and off the radio.
Here's Stephen Phillips.
All right, folks, we're back with you, and we have got the world-renowned Ruta Lee. How are you, girl?
I am exceedingly well and exceedingly happy to be talking to you and your wonderful listeners. Have a beautiful, blessed, gorgeous day.
I'm telling you, I'm with you. I'm excited. Last time we were on, we were talking about the book, and now the book is out. And
such fun. I mean, it has caused a lot of raised eyebrows and humor and laughter, and I think it is so totally delicious. To think that I don't know about this week, but last week I was number 2 on Amazon's new releases and number 1 on Canadian releases. Well, I thought that was pretty terrific for a newbie. My first book and my first attempt, and I've got to tell you, my friend, it is the largest pain in the butt imaginable to sit down and actually write a book.
Well, now, you actually named it right, because it is considered your ass kissed.
I know. I keep saying, why does anybody get upset about that? I mean, with the language that we're hearing. And every once in a while, I did an interview in Texas, and they would not say the word ass. And I said, well, hold on a second. If our beloved Jesus rode into Jerusalem on an ass,
right?
What's wrong with kissing it?
There you go. I guarantee you that's right. So tell these folks. I mean, you have been in the Hollywood business for years and years, and you have been with all the greats. I mean, and you are a great. And everybody that even knows or been around you, they're like, Ruta Lee is the best. So tell them a little bit about what this book's about.
Well, it's not really the story of my life. It's autobiographical in that I have spent time with some of the most wonderful and beloved stars that we all love in America, and I share some of the joyous and crazy things that have happened along the line. I have a very strong feeling about how we have to live, and I think we have to kind of laugh our way through the tragedies and the craziness that goes on in the world. And I kind of just sort of share some of my life experiences, and especially theatrical experiences, because that's what everybody's interested in. You know, we love to know a little bit more about some of the people that we either admire or don't admire, and I cover quite a bit of territory in the book.
Well, I mean, you have been, if the folks that don't know Ruta Lee, y'all are missing out on the world right there. I mean, you have been in everything. Perry Mason, Bonanza, Gunsmoke, Rawhide, I mean, all this stuff. The Love Boat, I mean, all this stuff that you have and stories to tell from it. I just think it's great. I think it's great. I can't wait. I've actually ordered a book.
Oh, well, you sweet man. That is so wonderful. It's available, of course, through Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And, of course, I like for everybody to go to their local bookstore and support them, you know.
Right.
And so that's what I'm hoping will happen. But I do have some signings coming up, and I'm hopeful that with this whole COVID crap, I have to call it, that has been going on all this time, is coming sort of slowly to an end, I hope, please God, and that I'll be able to get out and meet people and sign and shake hands and hug. I just am so, that's the title of my book, my dear friend, comes because I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, am so grateful to the lovely people who have either turned the television set on because I'm going to be on, or
Right.
bought a ticket to a movie that I was in, or came to the theater to see me. And above all, the people that have supported my charity. As you know, Debbie Reynolds was the head mama, and I was the second head mama of an organization called the Thalians, Thalians.
Right.
And we have always been Hollywood for mental health, but in the last 5 years, almost 10 now, we are supporting the plight of our returning veterans and their mental health.
Right.
So we joined up with UCLA's Operation Mend. Operation Mend takes care of the fractured and broken bodies of our returning veterans, and we take care of the broken and fractured mind and spirit. And isn't it a shame that our veterans, those beautiful young men and women that put their lives on the line for us wherever we send them, sometimes come back, and instead of getting the best that America has to offer, they fall through the cracks.
Yes.
And we Thalians have always been that spotlight that shone a light on that dark hole that's called mental illness, the hidden disease all the time.
Well, you know, the
And,
things that they
we
go
are-
through, I mean, you know, people don't realize it. I mean, you know, you're out there and somebody's trying to kill you. I mean, that would be something that would just be terrifying.
Of course it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I think we've seen too many movies where it all just sort of flies through our minds and we don't think about it. But, oh, my Lord, those beautiful young people are fabulous, and we need to take care of them. America has so much to offer, and so I'm begging everybody that has a nickel, a dime,
Right.
$500,000, whatever you can send to thethalians.org.
Right.
We would appreciate it because our kids need it. Our beautiful returning veterans need it.
Well, I'll tell you my personal opinion. I think if they have been in a combat mission, I think they ought to be took care of the rest of their lives. I mean, honestly, I mean, that is, they actually put their lives on the line for our freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they should be took care of. I mean, there shouldn't be no question about it. They ought to get the best care in the world.
But, you know, Americans are really very, very generous people.
Mm-hmm.
And when they know what's going on or they hear the story, then there will be support. So I have just forever said to these people, consider your darling asses kissed, because what else can I say from the bottom of my heart but in absolute gratitude for anything that has come my way. And Debbie Reynolds was my friend, my sister in charity,
Right.
and I adored her, and we were friends for many, many, many years. And she taught me something very important, and I say this in the book, too. I talk about this, that she said you can ask anybody in this world for anything so long as it isn't for yourself.
Right. I agree
And
with that.
she's right.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she's right. But so many people out there nowadays are for themselves, and it's kind of sad. Yep, it's sad. I have got to ask you, you were friends with Lucille Ball.
Oh, yes.
Tell me about her. She just seems like so much fun.
Oh, my Lord, she was one of the niftiest dames, and I say dames in a loving Frank Sinatra way.
There you go.
One of the great broads that God put on this earth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Look, she was tough to work with. She, I write about this, that she brooked no foolishness when you were working.
Right.
But boy, she loved to work, and she loved to laugh. And when work was over, then, of course, the laughter reigned supreme. And she also loved games.
Right.
Always loved games. And we all used to gather and go over to the house, at her house, and play charades and whatever. And then she fell in love with backgammon. But, I mean, I've got to tell you, it was kind of fun to be playing charades with Carol Burnett.
Oh, Lord. I mean, there's
and
another one.
Joanne Worley.
Yeah.
And Ruth Buzzy. You know, we'd go over to the house and, form teams, and it was just fabulous.
Mm-hmm. I cannot
But
imagine.
I also write about the fact that if you were hungry, forget it. You weren't going to get something at Lucy's. There was never anything in her refrigerator.
No. Now, she ain't from the South, obviously, because I'm down south. Our
Clearly.
refrigerators are full. I'll guarantee it. So,
Of course, of course, and I grew up in the kind of family where, first we'll eat, later we'll talk.
That's it. Yeah, come on in. We'll fix you something to eat. That's about.
Yeah.
That's what I grew up with. I guarantee it.
Well, she was from Jamestown, New York, so maybe they had different attitudes there, or maybe she never ate because she had to always stay thin. She started out as a model.
Yeah, and she
and then became a showgirl, and then became a dramatic actress, and then she became a comedian. And oh my lord, I miss her because she just filled my life in many ways with joyous experiences. And I did a lot of shows and a lot of her specials, and I still see little Lucy because she lives in Palm Springs now, and I have a house in Palm Springs, and so we get to visit occasionally, which is awfully nice.
Well,
and she's as talented as her mom.
Everybody says the same thing about you. You're just a joy to be around and a joy to talk to. Now, do you do any work now? I mean, are you still working, or are you just...
Well, I occasionally I'm working, but look, let's face it, I am 85 years old.
And still good looking.
I think I'm 29, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And I was blessed or cursed, take any way you want, with tremendous energy and vitality that never seems to wane.
Right.
And even though I'm getting older and I don't kick quite as high as I used to when I'm dancing, I'm still moving that rear end of mine around and having a hell of a good time. I do some interview shows, which are kind of wonderful, and so I get to visit with a lot of stars still.
Right.
But let's face it, those leading lady roles are not for me anymore. So, and I'm not ready to play little old wizened, little old characters. That's just not me.
No, I'm with you. I still think you're leading lady material myself. I guarantee it.
Well, thank you. You are very kind, and consider your ass kissed.
There you go. I guarantee it. No, you're one of my favorite. Now, you work with Sally Fields, right?
I'm sorry.
Sally.
What did you say?
Sally Fields. You work with Sally.
Oh yes, darling lady. She was one of our honorees. The Thalians raised millions and millions and millions of dollars for mental health by doing great big extravaganza events, black tie events at one of our major hotels every year, and every star in town came to perform and be with us, and we did well. And we filled a lot of seats with a lot of fannies, which meant good money for the Thalians. And now, of course, with COVID, we haven't been able to do diddly squat.
Yeah.
So, thank God there are still people that are willing and know the good work we do and are willing to give us some money. And I certainly appreciate that, as do the veterans and their families that we serve.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Sally was, I wanted her to become president of the Thalians, but she was so involved in so many things and such a generous, loving girl.
Yeah,
but she did a promo for us for the Thalians, raising money that we're still using to this day, which is very good of her. But I love her. I just adored her. I thought she was a wonderful girl.
She's got a lot of fans here. That movie Smokey and the Bandit was actually shot in this area.
Ah, yes, of course.
Yep, it was shot down here where we live at. So, so there's a lot of big fans of Sally Fields here, and she's been in a lot of good movies. But
I have not read her book, but I was hearing that she really, really ripped Darling Bert apart.
Yeah, I think there was some, but I think there was some trouble there, but it all looked good on the movie,
It sure did. Oh, God, did they have fun. And did we have fun watching those movies?
Oh, yeah, I guarantee it.
Woo-woo.
Yep. So, anyway. So, now this book, if somebody wants to get it, they can get it on Amazon or the local bookstores.
Uh-huh. And Barnes & Noble, absolutely. They may have to order and wait because I'm so happy, to have been out there with the book selling, and that's just great. And I think, as painful as it is, that I'm going to do one more.
I hope so.
I give a chapter to my grandmother and her life from Lithuania, being deported to Siberia with my grandfather. His legs were frozen on the cattle train that they were being deported on, and when they took off his boots at one of the stops, the flesh came off with it and gangrene, and he died.
Oh, wow.
And this little lady there she was in her 90s in Siberia, for God's sake. And then back to Lithuania, and I tried for years and years and years every way I knew how to get her out. And then you'll read about it in the book, how I finally got her. And I think that is worth more than the chapter that I gave it in my book. I think that is a story that should be told, and a movie maybe should be made, because it was such a lesson to all of the young people in this world, and above the generation that followed me and the one after that. We think of socialism as, everybody's going to get something and we're all equal. Communism is the worst curse that could come to any nation, and it has failed everywhere. And we're coming so close to falling into that ridiculous trap of where the government is going to take care of us. And I want every young person to wake up and read and learn and look at history and see how communism is a curse no matter where it comes into being.
Yep, I agree with you 100%. All we need is opportunity. I don't need somebody to tell me what, when, and where. I'm with you 100% on that.
There you go. There you go. And this is the land of the free, and it's free because a lot of people were willing to put their lives down to make it free.
Absolutely.
And we must never forget that and never let it slip away and give it away to forces that are just beyond anything that God really wants on this earth.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, Miss Ruta Lee. We've got to get to a break, but you are one of my favorites, and I've interviewed a lot of folks over here, and you are absolutely one of my favorites.
I thank you so much for taking the time and the interest. Thank you for sharing your beloved audience with me, and may I simply say, God bless you all, and may God keep smiling on America, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the opportunity to visit with you.
Thank you, kind lady. I appreciate it.
Bye for now, darling.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you for listening. This is Stephen Phillips, host of The Morning Dish. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel because we have a lot more interviews out there to listen to. Plus, you can listen online every morning at WJULradio.com or Lake 97.7 WJUL. And give us a like on our Facebook page, The Morning Dish.